at how to create a gradebook using Excel. Let's go first and take a look at a finished product from a student that have already taken the class. And this is an example of a finished product. So in this case, you see that the student has 20 or so students. They have 5 or more assignments. And then you have the student's individual average, and then you also have the letter average located here, and then lastly you have the class average located down here. So these are some of the things that we do want to incorporate into our assignment. So let's go ahead and get started, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this portion so I don't have to redo it. Alright, so there we go. I copied that, and I'm going to go ahead and minimize that and start a brand new page. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in, and just for the sake of coloring, let's go ahead and change. That way we can see everything clearly. And I'm going to zoom in just a bit. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started with my assignment here. What I'm going to do, oops, one last thing. Let me change this so that, there we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in column J, I'm going to put in my word average, because this is where I want the average to be located. And in column J, this is where I want my letter grade to be located. There's many different ways of creating an Excel average formula, but I'm going to show you the easiest way that I know how to do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and not click on this, which is the sum, but I want to click next to it, which is that little thing right here. And then if I click on it, it opens up a new menu which says average, and that's the one I want to choose because I want to get an average of, for in this case, Amy Lee's assignments. So if I click on average, the computer tries to guess at what it wants to average, and if the computer does guess it correctly, in this case it does, all I have to do is hit return, and there you go. So Amy has an average of 84.6 over these 5 grades. What I want to do now is I want to copy and paste this average so I don't have to do it over and over. But before I do that, I'm going to double click right in here, and it shows a blue line around what it's averaging. So I double click, and there we go. If it's averaging correctly, I'm going to hit escape to get out of this mode. And I can see that this box is still selected. In this case, this cell is J2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom right hand side, which is right here, and as I go to the bottom right hand side, it changes to this symbol. Once it changes to this symbol, now it's telling the computer it's ready to copy this formula. I'm going to press on the mouse and keep it pressed. I've got it pressed, and now I just drag down. As I drag down, I can stop right here, which is my last student, or I'm going to go a couple of extra because if I add additional students, I don't have to redo this formula. So there we go. And don't be concerned about this look right here. This just represents that there's a formula set in, but there are no numbers associated, which is perfectly fine. Next, let's go over here and let's get the class average. So in order to get the class average, what we do is, same concept, not on the sum, but we click on the little button next to it and we click on average. As I click on average, I'm going to go and take a look, and did it average in the correct area? And in my case, it did. So I'm going to hit return, and there you go. This tells me that the class average for this spelling quiz was an 82.034 so. And I'll go change that a little bit later. So now that we have this, we're going to do the same concept and double click. Make sure that it is averaging the correct area, and it does. To get out of it, I hit escape. Now I'm going to go to the bottom right hand side, which is right here, and now I'm going to copy this formula all the way over to here, which is the last assignment. So, and there we go. Once again, this shows up, and that's perfectly fine. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the letter average. So in order to get the letter average, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the web on the assignment page, and let's go and copy and paste the letter average formula. This is your letter average formula that is found on the assignment page. So I have it selected. I'm going to go to edit and copy, and let's minimize this, and we're going to drop it in right here. from practice, dropping it in right here doesn't work always. So what I like to do is I'm going to have this cell selected, which is in this case K2, and then I'm going to go up to here and drop it into my formula bar. So to drop it into my formula bar, you first have to make sure your formula bar is here. If it's not visible, just go to View and make sure that you have formula bar right here checked. And mine is, so I'm going to leave it alone. So I'm going to drop it in right here. I'm going to go to Edit and Paste. It copied this formula for me, and I hit Return. And this little box comes up, and you say Yes. And now you can see that this B represents what is shown over here. Let's go ahead and double click here, and it draws a blue line of what it's averaging, so which is correct. I hit Escape. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom right hand side, just like we have, to copy a formula and grab it and drag it down. And as I drag down, I want to stop right here, and you can see that the letters corresponds with this. Let's put this into practice. Right here we have an 89, which is a B. Let's give this student a 100. And once I hit return, this 89 should go to a 90 or above, which also should kick into over here, making the B change to an 8. And there you go. This is a 90.8. It changes to an 8, and there we go. And we have the A that corresponds to it. So we know that our formula is working. Let's go ahead and change the decimal points. The decimal points going out way too far. We only need to go to the whole number, or maybe to the 10th. We don't need to go out too far. We're not that worried about it. So here's your decimal points. And if you want to go to the 10th, now everything has a uniform look. Same concept here. Let's select this, and let's change the decimal points. And you can see that you can get it to look very uniform. Now this is a finished product of our assignment. This would give you a B because I put in all of the minimum items, which is 20 students, 5 assignments, a student's individual average, the letter average, and we have the class average, which met the minimum, which would be a B in this case. Let's go ahead and save this file, because after we save it, we want to next put it up on our website. We go File, Save As, and I'd like to have the extension on here so I don't have this selected. And I'll call this, for example, Grade Book. And I like to save mine onto my desktop, and there it goes. Saved it right over here. This is a grade book. And now, how do I get this up on the web? Let's go and get that onto the web. I'm on my portfolio page, and on my portfolio page, I'm in my edit mode. And in my edit mode, we don't have to worry about changing the file format or doing anything different. We just upload it as is. We just simply go to Add Files, go and locate it, which was this assignment right here, and we upload it and give it a second, and there it is. Here is my assignment. So keep in mind, whenever you're on your website, we typically do not click on this to preview it because it's going to give us a different look. We typically will click on this, which is your download button. So let's go ahead and take a look and see why if I click on this, this just gives me a look, but it's not going to actually be the actual Excel. Okay? So in order to make it look exactly the same, what I would want to do is click on this, and that's how you would download your assignment. Thank you for watching this, and if you have any question, please feel free to contact me by email or by coming to office hours. Thank you and have a wonderful day.